What up, hobos? Not been out for a while because my missus wouldn't let me. And let's face it, she runs it. So today, while I'm out walking the dogs, I thought I'd give you a quick rundown of some tips and advice on how to wild camp. Kit! Now kit. Kit is a very personal choice and one thing that you will never ever reach the end of. You're forever buying new kit, you're forever figuring out what is best for you. A couple of things to point out. If you're just starting off and you're not too sure, obviously you want to keep costs down to a minimum. One of the best ways to keep costs down to a minimum and have kit that is durable is army surplus stuff. Now army surplus stuff does weigh a ton, but it's bomb proof. Right, as you progress, you will no doubt be searching and scouring the internet for all sorts of reviews and testing and stuff like this. Here is where you get your first problem. When you look at a review on the internet, certainly on YouTube, there are two types of reviewers. You have your Shug Emery. If you're into hammock camping, go to his page. Anything and everything you need to know is on that page. Same with Paul Mesner. He does a lot of reviews. But what you will notice with both of those people is Paul Mesner will do a review of a tent, and then you will see him in that tent up a mountain using it in the peeing down with rain. Same with Shug Emery. He hammock camps in weather that will make a bleeding polar bear shiver. There are a plethora of people on YouTube and you will see them review after review after review after review, most of which are done in their back gardens. If you go through, and this is a top tip, go through these channels and have a look to see how many times they've actually been out camping or are just reviewing stuff for the sake of reviewing stuff and getting views. I've seen so many people recommending rubbish kit that could potentially ruin your experience and make you never want to go out again. I'm not going to mention any names. Is that a woodcock? But it's not good. So go through their videos, have a look and see how many times they've actually been out camping. Get yourself an informed opinion. You need to figure out what sort of camping you want to do. Be it tent, tarp, a hammock. Oh, I love a hammock. Or, you know, as you can see behind me, or maybe not because it's well camouflaged, some sort of debris shelter. And go from there. Similarly, with the cook's kit, you've got to take into consideration the location you're at, whether it lends itself to twig stoves, being in the middle of the woods, open fires, if you can have a fire or not, if you're on a beach, if you're going to use gas up a mountainside or meth, all of which, once again, the choice is endless. You can go and you can buy stoves left, right and centre, from as cheap as a couple of quid right the way up to 80, 90, £100. One of the things I like doing, and it will help you as well, is DIY stuff. I make DIY twig stoves, DIY meth stoves. They are the shizzle me nizzle. It gets you used to them, gets you used to their capabilities. Everyone's happy, and best of all, it's as near to free as you can get. Location! Right, location. This falls into two sort of subcategories really. You obviously need to find yourself where you're not going to get found, or whether you've got permission to camp there, that is suitable for what you need. For example, you're not going to string a hammock up across a bike track that is heavily used, or go and camp in someone's back garden. Just like you wouldn't pitch a tent in the red light district because you're going to wake up with a sore bum. So what you need to do is go hunting for these spots and making sure it has everything you need. Beach camps are generally a very good place to start because fishermen sleep there all the time. You're not really going to get tugged by the old bill. If you can get permission by writing to landowners, do that. Woods are absolutely fantastic. Personally, one of my favourites. Right, the second part of location is safety, obviously. If you're pitching up a hammock in the middle of the woods, you want to make sure something like that isn't about to fall on your head. Any loose branches or anything above you, check, make sure it ain't going to do you in. Similarly, if you're in a bivvy bag, tent, whatever, you want to make sure that if it does hammer down, the water's not going to run down and swamp you out in the middle of the night. All of these things are things you've got to consider. By all means, go out, look at all the videos that go in depth. In depth, bleeding hell. Look into the videos that go in depth into these things and the specifics. Because I'm not. This is an overview. Solo?
Or group?
this is another choice you're going to have to make. I personally don't mind a solo camp. Been used to it. But I understand there are a lot of people out there that, you know, and rightly so, would get spooked in the woods. I know fully grown men that are almost reduced to tears by a snuffling badger or something. Is that another woodcock? They're bloody everywhere. But yeah, if you've got friends to go out with, brilliant. Get it done. If you're happy, just make sure if you are going out on a solo, that people know where you are. Everyone's a winner. Be sensible. This comes down to many things. I mean, you're not going to pitch a hammock over a ravine if you've never tied a knot in your life. You don't need a 50-foot fire if you're only cooking porridge for yourself. Be sensible. Didn't film it as I was walking around today, but I should have. Make sure you leave the place clean and tidy. Make sure that even if you are caught, you're polite. You've got the right kit. Be sensible. There is nothing that will bugger up your trip more than being cold, wet or on fire. Isn't that right, boy?
Yeah.
Lastly, but definitely not leastly. Leastly? Is that even a word? Anyway, practice. If you've got to go out with your tarps, your hammocks and hang them up, do it. If you go straight out in the peeing rain and you rig a tarp up all wrong, you're in the shtuck, my friend. So get out there, practice fire lighting, practice it all, building shelters, everything. The more used to it you are, the more comfortable a night you're going to have. Most of all, enjoy it. Always have a plan B. Exit strategy. But until then, enjoy finding your way in the woods, beach, hillside, whatever it is. Anyway, there's a couple of little tips. I'm going to leave some links to the Paul Mesners and Shug Emerys of this world so you can get an idea of how it should be done. If there's any interest, I'll go into in-depth stuff, like what to put in your fire kit and stuff like that. Once again, it's all personal. I love a bit of fat wood myself. Lots of people swear by gas. Amateurs. But just go out and enjoy the outdoors. Because life's too bleeding short. Ta-ra!
Ta-ra!